The topic of today's video is making polls in Haiku for your students. There are a lot of options for interactivity between you, the Haiku course page, and your students, and this is just one of them. I think one of the more straightforward ones, and one that you can actually have a bit of fun with within the course. In order to have this interaction with the students, you go to the Connect tab once you are in the course you want to work in. And under the fourth option, under Connect, is Polls. So I'm going to click on that. It brings me to the polls that I've already created and allows me to add a new poll. So the question I'm going to ask goes in this first box. Okay, that's pretty straightforward, I think. I have all the options that I usually do for entering text in any Haiku content block, including adding an image, changing colors of the background, changing colors of the font, and adding links. So all sorts of things I can do there. What are the options that I'm going to allow them to choose? These arrows and the garbage can. Arrows allow me to move the option up or down in my list. And the garbage can obviously allows me to delete that option. I can add more choices if the three that they give me by default are not enough. Rosters for all of our courses allow both parents and students, so I can choose here who is allowed to vote. The settings down in this bottom area cannot be changed once we publish the poll or make it live. We can allow the students to choose more than one option, so that's sort of your multiple select. I can add other, so that they can type in their choice in case I haven't listed it, and I can make it anonymous. It gets a different level of honesty. You can do different things with the data afterwards. So I'm going to click Next. This is what it will look like. This poll is anonymous. It tells the students that. I can go back and change things. I can change the colors, add images, all that sort of stuff. Once it is published, that is when I can start putting it on a web page. So I can control how the information that is collected by the poll is displayed within Haiku. I can have it so that as soon as someone has voted, they can see the results. I can wait until after I've closed the poll, or I can never display the results. So you can actually do multiple choice questions for a quiz using this poll, but quizzes are another matter which we can talk about later. I can set when the poll is open until, so I'm going to set until January 20th. The default is 2 weeks. And I can use a pop-up to ask the user to respond. And I try to avoid those things because you don't know how the browsers the students are set up. And they may have pop-up blocks, in which case the quiz they can't do. Publish to a new content block. So do I want it in its own block on a page, or I can embed it into an existing content block on one of my existing Haiku pages. I'm going to publish to a new block. Block title, you have to have a block title. I'm going to call it Lunch Options, and I can choose the page. This is where I'm going to go choose which page I'm going to put this into. So I am going to have it on my homework. I'm going to put it on my main page, and I can choose block placement. If I click on that, I can choose where it goes. Typically, I think you would want it on the top row. Probably it's upper right, because it is going to be a relatively small box if you have a 2-column setup on your Haiku page. If you put it somewhere else on the page that the kids aren't likely to see it, put it up in the top right. It is still pretty prominent. It doesn't completely grab their attention, but it is right there for them. And this would, of course, give you the main attention. Once I've got these selections, so I've chosen my page, I've chosen where it's going to go, I can now click Publish. And if I scroll through my list of polls for my courses, there it is at the bottom. I can see that absolutely no one has responded yet. I can manage my poll. I can view the results. I can export the results as well if you wanted to send them to Excel, or I can close it right from here. Let's take a look at what this will look like on a course page. So I'm going to click on the Pages button. Here's my main page. So over here on the right is my poll. I can't vote because I'm not a student, but what I will do now is I'll transfer into the view of a student, and we'll see what it looks like to them. So we'll just pause for a moment as we make this quick change. I'm now logged in as a sample student, Crescent Student Junior. So I'm going to go see this poll that someone has created for me in my epistemology class. So I'm going to click on the epistemology. And over here on the right, I can see the lunch options quiz that was just set up. So my favorite lunch, as Fred Durf, would be tacos. And so I can submit. Now that the vote is cast by the student will then see the pie chart showing how the votes have come up. I'm back now in my made-up class as a teacher, and I had some spontaneous enrollment in this course, so I have a few more students who were able to answer the poll. Over on the right-hand side, I can see a pie chart showing the results of the responses. So if I hover over it, I see the raw numbers of how many students chose each option. And then down below, I can see percentages in those raw numbers. Again, I also have a bar chart that I can choose, or I can see the details. So the other way of seeing the details is by going up to the gear, clicking the gear. There are some small changes I could make to this. I cannot change it rather from being anonymous at this point, nor can I change the options. That would mess up the poll data considerably. But this is the other way to get into the details by going to view results. This page gives you more options as well. I can clear the results. So if these were the stats for one section of students and I wanted to keep a different set of stats for another section, I could clear in between. Before I clear it, I may want to export the numbers so I can use them to do some comparisons later on. And Carson, I can certainly help you with these. Manage poll has very much the same sort of thing. This poll is now closed. I didn't want anyone messing up my data, but I could reopen it from here as well. So that is, in short, what you can do with a poll. Kind of a neat thing to do to start each class. You could have a quick poll based on the previous day's homework, based on current events, based on school events, just based on, life things. You could do this as part of your mentor group too, just to get an idea of how the guys feel about certain things. Use it to start a discussion maybe. Fun things. Guys like to interact with the pages. They do like to see the results of these things. So I hope this has given you some ideas and some skills that you could use in your class's mentor group or activities. And if there is anything else we can help you with, please don't hesitate to contact either Carson or I. We'd love to give you a hand. And if you have other ideas for videos, again, please let us know. Thanks for your time and attention, and have a great day.